Hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of karTECH Talks. My name is Kartik and I serve as the Vice President and Chief Information Officer for LIMRA, LOMA, SRI, and LL Global. There is good reason that the previous Tech Talk on cybersecurity read like a Stephen King novel. Compromised cybersecurity can wreak horrors on your company, your digital and data assets, erode your brand, and cost you customers. And that's just for starters. But the best defense against cybercrime is not just relegated to technology to combat these issues. It's not even processes to help surface these issues. The best defense against cyber attacks are people. Each and every one of us and each and every one of you bear the responsibility and the power to defend your companies and your digital and data assets. To understand the nature of cyber threat, I find it's useful to categorize where these threats are originating from. At the highest level, I think of these threats as originating from the outside or external threats, or originating from the inside your organization, or internal threats. External threats and internal threats can be further subclassified by nature and intent, such as accidental or intentional. External accidental threats occur when a trading partner, a vendor, or a contractor that you're working with compromises your network or your assets unwittingly. They could mishandle your data or provide a backdoor into your company to bad actors. This is unintentional, yet just as devastating. Internal accidental threats occur due to your own employees and their accidental loss of compromised or exposed data, such as printing out sensitive material at the hotel business center and leaving it on the printer, or via lost devices such as tablets or laptops that are light on security governance and house confidential or sensitive data. Cell phones have exacerbated this nightmare scenario because they contain just as much sensitive data or access to it and are typically poorly secured and are the easiest devices to misplace and lose. Where countries in Asia transact their entire lives using mobile devices, this issue is especially grave because it can serve as everything from their identification to their mode of payment. External intentional threats are those what we think of most frequently with cybercrime, an established synonym with cybersecurity. These threats are from those actors from outside your organization that seek to inflict damage and do harm, either to your reputation, to steal your digital property, to enrich themselves, or all three. These categories include hackers, extortionists, ransomware perpetuators, cyberjackers, and those seeking to commit corporate espionage. Internal intentional threats are caused by disaffected or disgruntled employees. These can take the form of theft of intellectual property, pilferage, digital destruction, digital subterfuge, etc. They are always malicious in nature and do not get as much time and attention as threats from external actors do. When most people think of cybersecurity, the most visible area that we instinctively think about is network and perimeter security. Protect the company's digital assets from malicious outside actors. This takes several forms, but the one word that most folks know really well is the concept of a firewall. More often than not, firewalls or common cybersecurity practices are quite effective to intercept, detect, and alert on intentional threats, be it Trojan horses, denial of service attacks, SQL injections, port scanning, etc. The real exposure we face is due to lack of education or even momentary lapses of judgment on part of even the most cybersecurity aware employees. It is the surest way to gain entry into an organization's network. A malicious payload attached to an email from a known sender, or a phishing attack that seems innocent enough. You can invest in the most advanced perimeter defense systems, but the only thing separating a company from being compromised and breached comes down to a single click. A click of an attachment, a click on an embedded link. Therefore, employee awareness and education is just as critical as is investment in our cyber defenses. The second challenge is also human-centered. People misplacing devices, laptops, cell phones, logging into your network using unsecure connections, downloading customer data on a USB key and misplacing it, hitting print on sensitive materials at the hotel business center and forgetting to grab the printouts, etc. The same holds true within IT. Just because you're a more technically astute individual does not mean that you are impervious. In fact, you likely bear a greater responsibility of educating your business partners and fellow technology professionals on sound cybersecurity hygiene. From development with a security mindset and sound practices to deployment and immediately responding to software scans, each facet of IT needs to make sure that we are not just supporting, but amplifying the focus on sound cybersecurity practices. Until next time, this is Kartik Saktaval for another edition of karTECH Talks. We take your feedback really seriously. Please leave your comments and feedback on these videos. Hope you found this information useful.